no matter where you live in this country, the dating scene can be a bit rough. Now, granted, it's been, nearly 2 decades since I had to be on the dating scene, but nevertheless, it's just as tough today if it was back then, if not even more so. And if you happen to be a conservative woman in Washington, D.C., which is an exceptionally liberal area, the dating scene is essentially a nightmare. And that is, of course, what conservative women told the Washington Post in a recent article where they basically blasted these MAGA men that, of course, they're being introduced to. They're trying to date, but these MAGA men are just, oh, God, they're not cutting it. Let me read you this. This is from one 29-year-old conservative woman in Washington, D.C. Here is what she told the Washington Post. She hoped to find someone who, quote, loved the Lord, enjoyed going to church on Sunday, and could go running with her. But no one meeting those qualifications has materialized. She wanted to find someone who can, quote, provide and protect emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of those things. And then she added, I felt like being in conservative politics, there would be more like masculine men in the conservative movement. And I find that a lot of them aren't as masculine as I would have hoped. Now, okay, let me just ask you. Why did you think that? Like, I thought there was going to be a bunch of manly men in the conservative movement. Why? Like, what in your life has led you to believe that you're going to find masculine men in the MAGA movement? These are not masculine guys. These are incels, right? These are the incel, by the way, for those who don't know, involuntarily celibate. Those are the guys that are like, milady, or the guys who go out there like, why won't girls date nice guys like me? And you're obsessive, weird little freaks who pester women. You don't treat them with respect. They're not masculine. They're scrawny little wimps. That's not to say that all conservative men are. But the MAGA folks, absolutely. Like, they're either these scrawny, weird-looking little reject freaks, or it's the overweight country bumpkin that's missing more teeth than he still has in his mouth. So yeah, I imagine the MAGA dating pool is not the greatest in the world. What's also funny is that another 27-year-old woman, this one happens to be a Republican staffer in the House of Representatives, she spoke to the Washington Post, didn't give a name, unlike the First Lady, because, she's like, I'm not allowed to talk to the press. But she said this. She was asked, this one's hilarious, asked if, like, okay, so there's no conservative men that you're willing to date because, none of them are masculine. They're all scrawny little weaklings. And so they're like, would you date a liberal? And she said, there's a lot of talk around the word fascism and people on the left calling people on the right fascists and Nazis. I think if somebody genuinely thought that, they probably wouldn't want to date me anyways, but like, that's a red flag because then you think that I'm that, which I'm not whatsoever and never will be, but I mean, my partner can't think I'm a fascist. That's crazy. So you can't date the conservative men, the MAGA men, because they're too scrawny, weak, and pathetic. The liberal men, hey, not as scrawny and weak as the folks on Fox News want to say. They're pretty good, right? But you're like, but they think I'm a fascist, so I'm just going to be alone. Well, that's your choice, I guess. I mean, you can hold out and hope that you're going to find some country music star that's also a MAGA guy to sweep you off your feet. But chances are, you're either going to end up with somebody who thinks you're a fascist and probably wouldn't date you anyway, or you're going to be stuck with one of those, toothless backwoods MAGA freaks. So enjoy your options, ladies. Or, a third option, I guess. You could also have an open mind. If somebody thinks you're a fascist, ask them to explain it. Maybe evaluate who you're working for in the House. See if they have fascist tendencies. Maybe the two of you can grow together even from differing political backgrounds. But if you're going to close yourself off and say, nope, I'm only going to that MAGA dating pool, well, get ready, because that dating pool is filled with algae, tadpoles, frogs, lily pads growing all over it, and that's what you're going to end up.